because I wanted to look like I was kind of normal, you know, and then I'd be in the bed the whole week, you know what I mean? And so anyways, it was very interesting, but I was falling into walls. And so I was losing my balance. The lowest I was at for my weight was like, I think 114.
And you're
I'm
tall?
like 5'9".
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. My friends thought I was dying. I mean, they literally, I had people telling me, you have Lyme, you have this, you have that. And I did have tons of diagnoses, but I didn't know how to get better. And, you know, when people tell you that this is your fate, you know, here I am with 70-year-olds at the VA at this pain clinic, you know, people that had, it was very interesting, but there's people that have, from Vietnam War, they were, you know, poisoned with Agent Orange.
Oh,
and
yes.
their muscles are deteriorating. I'm hanging out with those people. I was 25 years old, you know what I mean? They're telling me that I'm going to always have this. I just have to learn coping skills. It was very discouraging. So, anyways, but when I found out about Heather getting better, at that point I was having anaphylactic reactions to food and had found out that I was having 24 food allergies and sensitivities. And then I had all these other problems, but I was kind of heading in a different direction with like the foods I was eating. So I was starting, who knew he can't eat McDonald's all the time? I know it's bad. I know it's bad, but I had happy linking with McDonald's, but my gallbladder was not happy and my liver was not happy. So anyways, I really had to start changing the foods that I was eating. And I think that was a beginning, but I was still, you know, weak and sick and all this stuff. But so anyways, I did end up going to one of the trainings that Heather went to and started shifting my thinking, and I started getting better. Like immediately I was able to be free very quickly of the fibromyalgia symptoms, which was hugely freeing for me. And that was like my main goal. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, and I kind of had a few thoughts of like, what if this could be healed? You know what I mean? But I thought, no. And anyways, it happened and it was the beginning, but I had to learn how to shift my focus consistently. I had to learn what my identity was and, you know, that I'm not this sick person, that I can be healthy, that I don't have to live in this heightened state of stress. You know what I mean? Which I had taken from childhood, you know, that I could have the freedom to address some of these more painful memories, like, you know, the sexual trauma, like, you know, the physical trauma, like, you know, different, my parents' divorce was that was the most devastating thing to me. I was like 3, you know, and my dad moved out.
It's abandonment though.
Oh, it is. It's abandonment. It's rejection. But just going in and dealing with those things. And again, it's very different than talk therapy, because I want to highlight that I did off and on literally 20 years of talk therapy. And I was more medicated. Wow. I had more diagnoses. And then the day before I actually went to the training with Heather, so interesting, I met with one of the doctors at the VA, and I had a group of doctors that were working with me. And she literally, like, she looked up, she was like, wait, what are you going to be doing? And she's trying to look it up, and she's like, okay. And, you know, just kind of telling me stuff and whatever. And she told me afterwards. So 3 of the doctors, they collaborated on my case. And I got better. So she was hopeful that I could get better, this doctor, but was scared that I would be disappointed and everything. But I came back and I was like, yep, I'm better. And I want, you know, to whatever, titrate or whatever the word is, to slowly get off of the medications responsibly, you know. And they were like in complete shock. They were in complete shock. And my doctor, I saw him. One of the doctors was like, he is so happy for you. He's like skipping around and, you know, he's just so happy. And she was like, we were really scared that it wasn't going to work. And you know what I mean? But it was really awesome just to start that journey and, you know, start learning how to address, you know, painful emotions and my beliefs and, you know, what's going on really in my mind and create something new. So it's been a really awesome journey.
Did you want to add something?
It just occurred to me.
Yes.
How much the doctors do want us to be well.
Yeah.
Right. Like
totally.
They really do want us to be well.
Yep.
That my doctors as well, you know, because I had to come home. I'm like, I'm healed. But I've got all these doctors and all these medications. And I did need to titrate off of all of this stuff. Yes. And they were thrilled for me. Thrilled. I remember I got to go in. I had my cardiologist appointment, my big yearly cardiologist appointment 2 weeks after I got back from the training. And he was like, what is going on with you? Because I was so drastically different. And he actually brought me into his office and he's like, I don't tell anybody this. He's like, but I'm into this mind stuff too. And he's like, I think this is really how people heal. And he's one of the top cardiologists on the East Coast.
Wow.
Right. So, and then all of these doctors were super supportive of this. Yep. So I definitely never want to make it seem like it's an us versus them thing, because they really do want us to get well. I think they've got what they've got. And, you know, that's the thing. My doctors, my infectious disease doctor and the rheumatologist actually started sending clients to me.
Right.
My Lyme doctor, my Lyme literate doctor, who was also infectious disease, she started sending clients to me after that. And because of the miraculous, you know, things that they saw. So it's such a good point. The doctors really are so in awe of that stuff too, what really does work.
And they are more open to the mind-body based medicine. A lot of times it's just they have their practice and it's a timing thing, but most of them, when I live in LA, so it's like the mecca of alternative health, but even the Western medicine doctors are in more and more open-minded nowadays and realizing how powerful the mind is to healing the body. So and there's some doctors, they want the best for you. Absolutely. They really do. Absolutely. And they are a blessing. And they only know what they know, just like we only do what we know. I mean, it's really like, so we can't point fingers to anything or to like this person healed me, and because it's all the power again is within us. And God bless doctors, they aren't in our heads. Yeah. They didn't live our trauma. They didn't live our past. And so they can only help us to a certain extent, but that's only in their strength, and the rest is in our hands. And so
I was going to share also, so interesting. I also had someone in my town who she does functional medicine, and she actually worked with me as a client, and then she started sending people to me consistently because she helps people to get better from Lyme disease. And she's like, she will listen to their story and then she'll say, I think I want you to see someone, as well. So she just know, because she knows that she can give them the specific protocol. And if they get better, then they're fine. But if she gives them the specific protocol and they don't get better, she's like, there's a mind-body connection going on. And she, and as we know, there's also a mind-body-spirit connection going on. But she's actually referred, quite a number of people to me as well, which has been, really neat. So I just think it's good to collaborate, and because, some people do actually get better with just basic treatment. But I was, there was much more going on, different things that I needed to address and to get better. So
that's so beautiful. And both of you are just glowing and radiant. So a few more questions. What did your family think of you now that you came home from this training and all of a sudden you're fibromyalgia free and many other symptoms free? How did your family react?
So it's neat because Heather, before she went, she had told her girls, Mommy's going to come back. Like,
that made me cry. Yes.
Mommy's going to come back better. Mommy's going to get healed. And I was so inspired by her story that I said the same thing. And I was so excited because I couldn't hold my kids, and so I came back and I was like, I am determined to hold my kids again. I'm determined to carry my kids again and love them. And it's just so exciting. I mean, it was wonderful. My family was incredibly grateful and very thankful. And, my kids have now also, and my husband have now also, my husband's a scientist. I'm just going to be honest. He's a PhD chemistry. So he's all about data. He was like all about data. And so he was, initially like, what are you going to do? Because we've been going to these amazing doctors and stuff like that. And people that have MD and, whatever, all these great, and here we are just learning about the mind, and the mind's going to heal me. I'm like, what? But he was so excited, and my kids were really excited. And it was just the beginning of, honestly, how many years has it been now? Maybe 6 years for me, something rough like that. Wow. Something roughly like that. But it's just amazing. We started going on dates again, and I started living again. And honestly, there were some times it it was a huge adjustment because we all played our role, you know, so we could talk about that more later, but we all had a role, and my husband was, you know, the caregiver and I was the sickie, you know, and so we had to change that and get used to, you know, that I'm a mom, you know, and I can wake up early and all that good stuff.
And did the healing manifest overnight, or did you still have a lot of symptoms and knowing that you had certain diagnoses, but you just chose to kind of not pay attention to it? Because I think the audience wants to know is, okay, there is hope on the other side to be healthy and strong and vibrant. But what happens if I am determined to be healthy, but I'm still feeling these lingering things? Was that something you had to walk out of? I know, Heather, you said yours was a journey too. It wasn't like, oh, everything's poof, great. I mean, you had a miraculous healing, but it's still the process of, did you have lingering symptoms? Did you have to walk that out once you got home?
Well, I mean, I had like, my muscle was totally like, you know, I had wasted away. I had done a triathlon at one point. Like, I was a very strong woman, you know, I went in the military, like full muscle mass. I mean, I was just like so excited, you know? So I went from being very healthy to like very weak. So I still had to, I felt good in my mind. I felt strong in my mind, but I had to like start exercising, you know, and start building that muscle mass again. And, you know, it was a very slow process and so very humbling for an athlete to have to go in a warm water pool with older people and learn not to injure myself, you know, like it was a process, but it was, but I was willing to do that because I'd already gotten so many shifts in my brain already that I was just willing to just finish this out.
And not only you, but your son, because I've done sessions with both of you, your son has overcome asthma. Like, that is a huge miracle in itself, just to see him. And many people say, oh, well, you know, these are the culprits. Stay away from these foods, blah, 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 blah. And you've really been able to just take the healing that you've had and see the healing in your children. So that's something that I'm sure the audience eventually in the next few episodes we can also share. And your daughter's going to be sharing her testimony, which is, I think we all, as mamas, it's hard to see your kids suffer. It's one thing to suffer yourself, but then to see your children suffer is like a whole different ballgame. And it's awful. But there's hope on that side too. So well, thank you guys so much for watching, and we are so excited to be able to share more of their stories and more episodes. Next episode coming up is sharing some of my story. Thanks, guys.
With over 10,000 titles, it would be impossible for us to show you everything on pureflix.com. But let's give it a shot.